Hey, welcome back. Thanks for watching. Bull markets. Since I've retired in July of 2024, the S&P 500 is up. I just looked this up here. Is up about 15% since I retired. It's really been a good run. I retired, I suppose, at the perfect time, and I've seen this dramatic rate, a run of the S&P just continuing to climb. And I'm, other markets being the same as far as that goes, but using the S&P as a benchmark. I have as much money now as I did when I retired a year ago, even though I've pulled off money for my bills and expenses and stuff. But and so this we always talk about sequence of return risk and how you kind of get you got to time your retirement, I suppose, to retire in a good market. But I'm really fortunate to have seen these big positive returns since I retired a year ago. But at what point, is the market going to turn and start to go the other way? History tells us that it will. History tells us that it's going to eventually start to go the other way. And perhaps for a year or two, it's going to be lower. And you think of the 2000s, and it was down essentially for that 10-year period. With the dot-com and the dot-com bust and the housing crisis, financial crisis in 2008. And so, at what point in my retirement journey over the next, say, 30 years is that going to happen? It's really easy to be retired and to live comfortably and to kind of whistle Dixie, I suppose, and see, boy, look at my my retirement accounts and how well they've done. Because I've not yet seen a significant downturn. And so, the folks that have been retired for many years, they've seen the ups and downs. And I suppose you just don't worry about it. You have enough set aside in safe accounts that, the day-to-day or even the year-to-year activity of the stock market really won't have any effect on you if you have enough in safe assets. But I've been very fortunate since I retired a year and 3 months ago to see these bull markets and to understand that I need to just be happy with what's happening and just understand that I can't get too comfortable because there is going to come a time in the future when the markets do turn. And so that being said, it's easy to be retired and talk about how wonderful it is when the stock market in your accounts are really doing well. But I've not yet had to face a bad turn. There in March and April of 2025, the markets really kind of took a dip because of the tariffs that were being talked about and implemented. But since then, it was just that was short-lived, and since then it's been on a tear. But I think about this from time to time. At what point am I going to be worried or really have a concern that things aren't going the way perhaps that they had in my first year of retirement? I guess that's always in the back of my mind, and perhaps on the back of everyone's mind that's retired is if and when the downturn comes, are you prepared well enough? And if you aren't, what are you going to do about it? But I do believe that I have enough safe. As I said in a previous video with my asset allocation, I'm about 50-50. I got 50% of my money that is safe, and then about 50% that's actually in the market. And perhaps I'm missing out on some big growth opportunities now because I only have 50% invested in the market. But all in all, the big picture, I think we're just fine. And I'm not really going to be worried, I suppose, when the time comes, because I do have so much in safe cash assets. But again, it is something to think about, and when you look at your accounts and it just continues to grow, and at what point, is it going to turn? And I've never had 2 months in a row where my account has been down, and I've been very fortunate. But I'm sure that there's some that's been retired that have had their accounts down for maybe for years at a time. But anyway, that being said, just something to think about, that I retired at a great time, and hopefully you have too. And hopefully if you haven't retired, hopefully you retire at a great time. But I wouldn't necessarily time my retirement for what the market's doing. Prepare your accounts, prepare your portfolio so that you have so much safe, and then you're not necessarily worried about the timing your retirement to the market. Just retire on your terms, have enough safe that you don't have to worry about it, and move forward from there. And don't give the company an extra year just because the market is down. So anyway, that I'll close. I'll say God bless. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate everyone that watches. I'll see you in the next video.